Trying to get everything going. All the pieces in line. I have been dealing with a piece of software all day, trying to get things working. And I said, let me get on here. That's why I'm so late coming on. Anyway, good evening. Happy Friday. This is the start of Labor Day weekend, and that's what we're going to talk about. Um, what to do, how to enjoy yourself. So, and for those of you who are looking this first time seeing me, my name is Trinette Stanford. I'm a nurse practitioner and diabetes health education specialist. And I work with women ages 40 and above that may have prediabetes or diabetes or any other chronic health problems. So tonight, what we're going to talk about is, okay, good. Tonight, what we're going to talk about is how to enjoy the holidays without going off the rails, okay? Because we are not robots and we have to have some enjoyment in life, but you can do it and not get your numbers out of whack, okay? So, the first thing is I always recommend make sure you know what your numbers are. If you have diabetes or pre-diabetes, make sure you're checking your numbers. Make sure that your numbers are within range, okay? Because if your numbers are out of range, then you need to get them in range. That is the thing. And what do you mean by in range? Okay, if you take it when you're fasting, that means if you haven't had anything to eat or drink, your your number should be between 80 and 120 if you have diabetes. If you don't have diabetes, they should be less than 100, okay? Um, if you take it during the day after you've eaten, and I always recommend you do not check your blood sugar unless it's 2 hours after eating, because that way you give your food time to digest and you'll get a true reading that way. If you check too soon after eating, you'll get you may get an elevated number, and that will not be your real reading because you still have food in your system going through the digestive process. So during the day, it should be between 140 and 180 if you have diabetes, okay? Now, if you don't have diabetes, if you have pre-diabetes, should be less than 120. All right? So, that's number one. So you want to make sure your numbers are in good shape. The second thing is make sure you are hydrated. Make sure you drink plenty of water. That's the number one problem that a lot of us have. We don't drink enough water. And when you drink enough water, that will help bring your numbers down, help to dilute things. And see, people that have diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, high cholesterol, different things like that, notoriously have thick blood. The blood is really thick. And part of the problem is, if you're not hydrated enough. So if you drink enough water, that will help bring things in control. And so, how much is enough water? And if you're not accustomed to drinking a lot of water, you have to work your way up to the optimal level. The optimal level is 1/2 your body weight in ounces per day. So, if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be drinking 75 ounces of water per day. All right. So, that is okay. How long after are you saying 140 you are to eat? Okay. If you have diabetes, check your blood sugar 2 hours after eating. And it should be around 140. All right. And if you don't have diabetes, it should be 120, between 100 and 120. Okay. Good. Hi, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. And So we need to drink water. Need to make sure that we have enough water on board. Oh, you type 2. Okay. Yeah. So you want the standards say that you have between 140 and 180. They give you up to 180. I like to go more toward the 140 mark, especially if you're trying to get your A1C down. Okay. But between 140 and 180 is the acceptable range. But like I said, wait 2 hours after eating in order to get a true reading. So you make sure your blood sugar's in control. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. The other thing is, if you are going out, say like you're going to out to a friend's, or you're entertaining, make sure that you eat a balanced meal. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have this and you can't have that. I don't say that, because when somebody tells you you can't have something, what's the next thing that happens? You can't wait to eat that one thing that you're not supposed to have. So what I say is, make sure you balance it out. Make sure that you eat enough non-starchy vegetables. It could be a salad, like a green salad. You can eat that, or if you have whatever non-starchy vegetable you like, broccoli, string beans, cauliflower, greens, things like that. You need those. Also, protein. And usually for summer holidays, people like to cook out, so shouldn't be it shouldn't have problems with getting enough protein. But your protein will help you stay fuller longer. And then you can have your carbohydrate. But again, like I said, you want to make sure that your blood sugar is in control. And I know the big thing, like I saw at the grocery store, the big thing that they had out was a lot of corn. So, if you have roasted corn on the cob, you want to make sure that you have a non-starchy vegetable along with the protein in order to balance that out. And potato salad is a good what have you been doing? I don't I like to go by portion size. I don't count macros. Um, don't do carb counting unless you're on insulin. Now, if you are on insulin and you have to, if you're on short acting insulin that you have to inject yourself before you eat, yes, you need to make sure that you count your carbs. But if you're not on insulin, you can go by the hand method. Oh, you're not on any medication? Okay. So the biggest thing is, like for carbohydrates, I recommend a half a cup serving. So then that way you get a chance to enjoy it, but you don't overindulge. Okay. So you can fill up on your non-starchy vegetable, you have your protein, and then a half a cup of whatever your preferred carbohydrate is. And then you drink your water, and you should be good to go. And then also, what if you're going to have a dessert, or if you're going to have, or if you're having a few drinks, or if you're having a drink. But again, if you're drinking alcohol, you need to balance it out with water. You can have your drink, but do more water too, in order to help keep everything hydrated. All right. The Now, if you have fresh fruit around, and you can, if you're going to a gathering, you can look and see what they have offered, because there may be some things that you can enjoy that will not knock you off your rails. So if they have fresh fruit, like I said, green salad, coleslaw, Potato salad. Potato salad is, oh, that's what I was getting ready to say. Potato salad is a good healthy starch for people with diabetes, because if it's cold potato salad, you have what we call, oh gosh, what's the word? What's the word? What's the word? A resistant starch. And so what happens, that resistant starch does not convert into sugar as fast. So that's why I say it's better. That one's better for you. It does not break down and convert into sugar as fast as like eating mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese or something like that. Okay. So the other thing is, if you're going to a gathering, if you're going to some kind of party or something, eat your healthy meal at home first. Eat a healthy snack, not a whole meal. But if you eat a healthy snack at home, say like you eat salad or boiled eggs or something at home before you go to the gathering, then you are less apt to overeat at the gathering. You won't eat as much. You'll still be able to eat and enjoy it, but you won't overindulge because you're already full. You'll just be eating, um, and you don't want to eat to the point of being stuffy. Another good rule of thumb: if you eat till you're 80% full, so that means that you're not hungry, but you're not stuffed. Okay. You're full, you're satisfied. And then after that, then that's when you can walk away and enjoy some other activities, enjoy some other of the festivities. So then that way it doesn't all surround the food. Okay. So the other thing is, especially if the weather's nice, it's a good time, especially if the gathering is during the day, go for a walk. I know that's what the relatives and I used to do. After we got through eating, we would just go for a walk. Several of us would walk. And that is another thing that you can do, because what you're doing is burning up the calories you just ate. So 25% of what you ate gets burned up, which is good. So that's another way of keeping your blood sugars under control. Okay. So those are the biggest things. Like I said, if you're not at the gathering, when you're at home, you can eat sensibly. You can probably control it a little bit better. But the biggest thing is like, okay, I'm going to a party. I'm going over to my friend's house and they're having a cookout. So then that's the thing. And the if it's a if it is a covered dish, that means that if it's a potluck, if you're responsible for bringing something, then bring something healthy. You can bring the healthy dish. I know we got together to have. Thank you. Um, I remember we had a party at my nephew's, and I took a salad. I took a kale salad. And it was so funny, when I got there, that was the only green thing that was there. And that salad went, I mean, I put it down and then it was gone. So I said, that's something they were really looking for. So you can be the one to bring the healthy dish. Okay. I know a friend of mine is famous for her fruit salad. She just takes a bunch of different fruits and cut them up and put them together. And that's also a big hit. So those are some of the things that you can do in order to still enjoy the holidays, still enjoy the gathering, but keep everything in line for yourself, because it doesn't do any good to get your numbers out of whack and then you have to fight for the rest of the week trying to get them back into control. All right. So if you start out with it in control, then you will be able to enjoy yourself and still feel good. Okay. And as far as drinks go, s- um, if you like sweet tea, if you're one of the sweet tea drinkers, you need it needs to be diluted. You know, you have to watch your drinks. You have to watch the beverages, especially the sugar sweetened beverages, because that's a lot of sugar that you may not need. But if you have to have it, say like you want the tea, make sure you drink it after you eat. So then that way you have food on your stomach, you have the fats and the protein in your stomach. So then that way that sugar won't go straight through and cause your blood sugar to shoot up. There'll be something in order to help absorb that, in order to help blunt the effect of it. Okay. So that's another thing. And like if there's a dessert that you really like, again, don't wait until it's time for another meal before you eat your dessert. All right. Say like, oh, I'll eat it later, and you wait for all your food to digest. Then what will happen, you'll eat that dessert and it'll go in and cause your blood sugar to shoot up because there's nothing to absorb it if you wait too long. So it's best to eat it like after you eat your meal. So again, like I said, if you don't eat until you're stuffed, if you only eat to 80% full, then you should have room in order to have a reasonable amount of dessert. And the biggest thing is you don't have to have a hunk of cake, you know. You just want to taste it. So, get a reasonable portion and then take your time and eat it. Really enjoy it. Because a lot of times we eat so fast. How many times have you eaten something? You had a plate, and next thing you know, you look down, the plate's empty, and you don't remember what you ate because you were eating so fast. If we just slow it down, if you slow down and eat slowly and take your time to your food and savor it, you'll find that you will get fuller faster and not eat as much. Okay? All right. So, to recap, make sure your blood sugars are in a good range. You want to make sure that if you have diabetes, if your fasting blood sugar is between 80 and 120, that's good. If it's between 140 and 180 after meals, that's good. If you don't have diabetes, we would like to see it less than 120 after eating. If you're fasting, it should be less than 100. All right? Make sure you drink plenty of water. Stay hydrated, because when you stay hydrated, that keeps your blood nice and thin. Plus, that helps fill you up, because a lot of times we think we're hungry, not really hungry, we're just thirsty. So make sure you drink your water. Then, when if you're going to a gathering, if you're going to a celebration, eat a healthy snack at home first. So then that way you're not starving when you go to the party, and you won't overeat. You won't overindulge. You'll be able to eat reasonably. And then when you get there, when you eat reasonably, have your non-starchy vegetables. You can have your protein. Also, you can have your carbohydrates, but you want to have it no more than a fist size. Okay, I said a half a cup, but no more than a fist size. Okay. If you're drinking alcohol, make sure that you drink water too. You want to balance it out with water. If you're going to eat a dessert, don't wait until your all your food is digested before you eat your dessert, because that will cause your blood sugars to shoot up faster. If you eat your dessert shortly after eating food, then the sugar in the dessert will not cause your blood sugar to spike so high. And if you're going to a potluck or a covered dish, whatever you want to call it, take the healthy dish. You take the healthy dish. So then that way you'll know that there'll be something healthy there. You can take a green salad, or you can take um, string beans or whatever specialty you have, or fruit salad. And then that way you know that there'll be something healthy there. Okay. And stay away from the salty snacks. Yeah. Yeah, you want to avoid the salty snacks because the that helps raise your blood pressure because it helps you to retain fluid. So watch your salt intake, and especially, because I know, like, if you're grilling and things, that those generally have a lot of salt. The regular food generally has a lot of salt. So avoid the salty snacks. That's why I say, you're going to take something healthy. So you can take a fruit salad and you can snack on the fruit salad. Okay. That's a hard one for you. What, the salty snacks? Yeah. Yeah. So, but the biggest thing is, I don't want you to feel like you're deprived, because that doesn't make anybody happy. It doesn't make, we still have to live in this body. So you can enjoy yourself, but it's within reason. Balance is the key. Balance is the key. Okay. And then, like I said, go for a walk after you get through eating. A couple of y'all can go for a walk or do something, because the weather's supposed to be nice this weekend, which finally, because I know we've had a lot of rain, and I'm so glad that it looks like we're not going to have any rain, so we'll be able to ride the motorcycle. Yay. Okay. So everybody have a safe weekend. Enjoy yourself. And that's my call to action. Enjoy yourself. When I come back on Monday, hopefully I will have that form completed, and we will go back into talking about the coaching sessions that I'm offering. Okay. But enjoy yourself, and I will talk to you later. Bye.